Tells us Perek Chav Ches Pasuk Yud Beis that Yaakov Avinu had a dream, and the pasuk says Vayachalom v'nei sulam mutzav arza v'rosho magia shamayma. That Yaakov Avinu had a dream, and there was a sulam, there was a ladder, mutzav arza, that was going towards the aretz, going towards the ground. V'rosho, and the top of the ladder, magia shamayma. The top of the ladder was up there on the top. It's an interesting lashon that it doesn't just say that the ladder was standing on the ground. It says it was pointed towards the ground. And the Nefesh HaChaim explains that this sulam, this ladder, really represents the neshama, the soul of the human being, that comes from the neshima, from the breath of Hashem, that it comes from up top, and it cascades downward towards the ground, towards the person. And that's why it says arza, because it really comes from the top, from Hashem, and goes down towards the bottom. And there were angels, the malachim, the malachei elokim, la'olim v'yordim bo. They were olim, they were going up, v'yordim, and they were going down. First we would have thought it would say they were going down. The angels are up there, right? So it should have said they were going down and then going up. But no, it says they were going up and down. It says in Nefesh HaChaim, because when it comes to our neshama, every thought, every speech, every action that we have down here actually produces and moves angels up the ladders of our neshama, which is chained all the way up to the top, to the breath of Hashem, and then allows a shefa, allows some forth of bracha, of more kedusha to come down into this world. So this ladder again represents our neshama, which starts from the top, from Hashem, comes down into us, and through every single action, speech, and thought, we allow malachim to go up and go down. In fact, he points out that we actually control the entire world. And that's what it means that we are created with tselem elokim. Tselem elokim means that we have the koach, we have the force, we have the power to be able to shoot up, whether it's kedusha or, unfortunately, the opposite, whether it's tumah, impurity, into the world based on all of our actions. And it's a very empowering piece. I highly recommend everyone reads the first shar of Nefesh HaChaim. It's life-changing. And it really allows a person to realize how great we really are and how much power we have on the entire world. From even a very, very, very simple thought that we have can have tremendous effects on the world. And I want to highlight one area that is not spoken about much, but definitely deserves its own shir, but just to highlight it for a moment, and that is the power of music. The power of music on our soul, and not just on our soul, but on the ruchni, the spiritual level of the entire world. The Manos Halevi of Shlomo Alkovitz, the author of Lechadodi, has a commentary, Manos Halevi, on Megillas Esther. I know we're thinking right now about Chanukah, but we're always thinking about Purim. So, in Megillas Esther, in the first parak in Pasuk Ches, he points out that in Achashverosh's meal, his suda that he made for all the people, there was food and there were couches. It was a very regal event, wine galore, but there was no music. It'd be shocking. You can make a banquet, a royal feast with no music. So he points out that music has the power, and it does seem from here that even non-Jewish music, that's for a different conversation, a different time. But music has the power to have tremendous, tremendous effects on a human being, to the extent that it could take you totally out of the physical world and bring you into a whole new place. And therefore he was worried. Since Achashverosh's goal during this meal was to get the Jewish people to sin, to get them eat food that maybe isn't kosher, wine that's not kosher, do other things that are inappropriate, try to really drag them down, he was scared that if he would provide music, that music might pull them out of the physical realm, and maybe they won't eat, and maybe they won't embark on all these physical pleasures. And therefore he purposely did not have music at the meal to make sure that the people will stay physical and run into problems. And he says that why is it that a baby, everyone knows a baby is about to go to sleep, you have to sing them a song, a lullaby. Why is it that babies need lullabies to put them to sleep? So he explains, because the baby just came from the higher worlds, just came from the Shemayim, comes into this world. It's not that far away from tapping into the highest levels of spirituality, which is found in music. And therefore, when he hears that soothing music, it reminds him of that incredible place where he was before he was born, and it allows him to go back to a happier place. The power of music, really incredible thing. Rabbeinu Bechaya has a sefer called Shulchan Al Arba. It's not so commonly known. Sefer called Shulchan Al Arba. It's a book on Inyane Achila, different areas of food and eating. And in there, at the end of the first gate, there are 4 sha'arim to the sefer. At the very end, he asks the following question. He says, why is there no bracha when you hear music? He says, for example, he says, Amnam lo tiknu bracha kisheyishma adam kol kinor ugav arev ma'od. You hear a beautiful sounding instrument. Why don't you make a bracha on that? Shanefesh smecha bo. The soul is so happy when he hears that. The nenis meno, such enjoyment from hearing a good geschmack instrument. Because sound has no substance to it. It's not. There's nothing there. You can't touch it. Vim Tomer. So maybe you'll ask, Hareach gam kein lo mamish. But smell also doesn't have anything. We say bori minei besamim. We make a bracha on smell. No, because there's something mamashas to the fruit or the clove where the smell comes from. Okay, he says, but there's some substantial thing to the instrument where the sound comes from the music comes from. He says, no, because it doesn't really come from the instrument. It comes from the breath. It comes from some hole of air that allows the music to come out. And that air and that breath is coming from a totally spiritual place. It's the most spiritual thing, and on that we don't make brachos. Only on physical things. Unbelievable idea. And we have to realize that music has the potential to take us to very, very, very high places. But at the same time, like Rav Shlomo Alkovitz said, it could take us out of our senses. We might not, might lift ourselves to a spiritual place, but then we're also in a place where we could get certain messages. If the words of the song, if the certain beats that get you to move in a certain way are inappropriate, it affects us. When you're in a very, very holy spot, you can all of a sudden insert in there tumah, impurity, that affects the way we think, it affects the way that we move. Everyone knows, depending on whether you're in an elevator or you're in a mall or you're at a sports game, there's certain different types of words, musical tunes with words that sometimes go with it to try to get you to shop more, try to get you to root more. It puts right into the subconscious to be able to get people into very interesting places. And that's what Achashverosh knew. Achashverosh knew that if he would go ahead and put the music there, it would be a risk. It would be a risk that people might go to a very holy place and stay away from all the bad. But at the same time, it also has a potential to go ahead and inject difficult things, bad things, could change your mood. And people sometimes say, yeah, I just listen to the music, but I don't listen to the words. Ever hear that? I don't hear the words really. Yeah, but the truth is, if I, of course I don't know any words, but if I would just say, we will, everyone just finishes off that sentence. What do you mean? I thought we don't listen to the words, and we don't. That's because we think we don't listen to the words, but we do. We hear them, even though we don't think we're listening to them. It impacts us. And I'll just quote from. I'm quoting it because I think the message is very important. So there was a Washington Post article in 1995 which quoted from a Life magazine from 1969, where Jimi Hendrix, who I think Les Mandapolig, the greatest guitarist ever, said as follows. He said, music is a spiritual thing on its own. You can hypnotize people with music. Exactly like Rav Shlomo Alkovitz said. And when you get them at their weakest point, you can preach into the subconscious what you want to say. And it's clear, anyone who studies music and the lyrics of many, many songs, there were tremendous agendas behind the songs. Tremendous. Now, they might not tell you what it is because they don't want you to stop listening to it because of the agenda behind the song. But if you study it, then you learn about it. Or if you don't study it, you just are affected by it. And it's important for us to realize that we're not just like this, simple guy standing over here that does his thing and hopes to do it well. We, like we said before, Sulam Mutzav Artza Rosho Magia Shemaim applies to all of us. Every single one of us have this ladder where we're affecting the malachim that are olim v'yordim. We have tremendous, tremendous powers inside us. And we want to be extra, extra sensitive to always be developing our ruchnius level. What are we spiritually? It's not just about, I'm allowed to do it, I'm not allowed to do it. It's much more than that. What are we allowing to affect us? What are we allowing to make us move? What are we allowing outside influences to come in and tell us what's okay, what's not okay, what words are okay, what words aren't okay? And as much as we think that these things don't affect us, they do. If they wouldn't affect us, these people wouldn't be spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to try to go ahead and affect us. That's clearly their agenda. Only 3.7%, I think they said, of the music industry is spent on Mozart and Beethoven. That's out. Gone. Those type of messages are not interesting anymore. Love, connection, that's not what people are at. Because they've never developed, they don't appreciate what it is that's coming through our ears and into our hearts. And if we want to be ruchni type of people, we have to recognize that every thought, every little speech, every little action, sometimes it's just a joke, sometimes it's just, make fun of someone, but everyone really gets it. It shoots out tremendous things into the entire world. And as we grow and as we develop, it's not just about our skills and not just about showing up on time and davening with better kavanah. That's all part of it. We have to realize that there's this whole holistic person that we are with tremendous powers, and we want to be extra, extra careful to build our sensitivities to how we are connecting and how we are allowing the angels. What type of angels are we allowing to go up, and thereby what type of angels are we allowing to come down into the world? Are we making the world a better place, or chas v'shalom, we're turning it away? So my bracha to all of us is, as we are continuing in our tremendous, tremendous growth here in Yeshiva, we're able to think about this, think about different areas where we could grow and become more and more and more sensitive, and Bezrat Hashem, we bring tremendous kedusha into the world.